Okay. Hello all. Let's get started. So, in the yesterday's session, we have seen about the business taxonomy, and as part of the taxonomy, we have seen the business issue, the business group, and the propositions. Right. So, the business issue is the purpose of the promotion. Business group is the category of the promotion, and propositions are the promotion itself. The propositions are the promotion itself, right? So we have also seen the concept of SR class. SR class is nothing but the strategy result class. So, okay. So it's nothing but the strategy result class. So the strategy result class is the Pega decisioning class. And whenever you actually create a new business issue, the strategy result will automatically get generated, right? So that's what we have seen. So any questions till yesterday? Okay, so if not, let us proceed with the today's session. So what we are going to see today is, let us go to the Dev Studio, and in the Dev Studio, let us create some new business issue, business group propositions, and let us start building some strategy.
Ravi, can you just quickly show like how to create the applications?
Okay, let me show that. Yeah. So it might take time, but what I will do is I will parallelly show you, and we will parallelly do the implementation also. So creating the Pega decisioning application is same as how you create a Pega development application. So if you go to the application item here, then you have a new application. So here what you need to do is you need to click on build from existing application. So once you select that, you need to select build on top of Pega Customer Decision Hub. Okay. So Customer Decision Hub is nothing but our Pega decisioning framework. So you need to say build with Pega Customer Decision Hub. So you will get this option whenever you install the Pega Customer Decision Hub in your system, in your environment. Okay, you need to, in the backend, you need to import the file. So then you will get this option. So I'm saying build with Customer Decision Hub.
Okay. So Ravi, will you share the installation guide and instruction how we can install the Pega?
Install the Pega or Pega decisioning application.
Yeah, Pega decisioning application.
Yeah, you do that.
Ravi, do we have this offline like not cloud application, not cloud application, just for local thing?
No. So you cannot do it in the local. You cannot do that. Right now, we don't have any personal edition from latest versions. And second thing is Pega decisioning is not supported in personal edition. The good thing is whatever the Pega decisioning topics that we are learning, right? All those things you can practice in your personal edition also. Like for example, yesterday we have seen the decision data, creating the business issues, creating the business groups. So all these things you can practice in your personal edition also. In the Dev Studio only we are going to see, right? That's the reason it is there in your personal edition also. But the Pega marketing topics, you might not be able to find it in the personal edition, for which you need to refer to the cloud. But all the Pega decisioning topics like strategy, models, everything, you can practice in personal edition. Okay.
Ravi, kindly please send this URL in the chat, please.
Okay. Yeah, I sent on the day 1 and day 2. So please bookmark it, everyone. I'm sending it again. Okay. Yeah, just open this and launch the Pega challenge. Yeah. So Now I selected build with customer decision hub. Then what you need to do is you need to select launch CDH setup wizard. Okay, you need to say launch CDH setup wizard. Okay, so now you will be getting this, and then you need to select next. So here you need to provide your organization name and application name. What is your organization name and what is your application name that you have to provide it. So what we will do for our banking purpose, right? So we are doing for a banking thing. So I will provide my organization name as Axis, for example, giving it as Axis Bank. Okay, just giving it as Axis Bank. And I'm giving the application name as,
हाँ पापा हो गए हम करता नहीं थोड़ी देर में कॉल
sorry, can you go on mute if you are not talking with us? Okay. So I'm giving the organization name as Axis Bank. I'm giving the application name as Axis Bank Offers. So that's what I'm giving here. Okay. So this is my organization, and within this organization, this is my application.
So Ravi, here the divisions will not come into the picture.
No,
Generally,
will not. No, will not come.
divisions
You
and
cannot do. No, you
okay.
cannot do that in CDH. Okay. So I have given the organization name, application name. Then you have the option to select the industry. Okay. So whether it's a communications industry, means telecom, for example, your Airtel, right? Geo, Airtel, and okay, like all these things, Vodafone, all this will come under communications. Healthcare, right? If you take healthcare like Apollo hospitals and all the hospitals and medical institutions, they come under healthcare. So in our case, it is a retail banking. So any financial institutions, banks, insurance providers, okay, loan providers, all those things come under banking. So if your domain does not fall under these three, you can select other. Okay, if it doesn't fall under these three, you can select other as the option. Now, based on this domain selection, the wizard will automatically download the appropriate car model, appropriate NBAD template, all those things it will download, and it will install it automatically. So you can see now the organization name is Axis Bank. Application name is Axis Bank Offers. Industry is retail banking. Repository, file repository. That means wherever your Pega is installed, that repository, some files will be generated. Okay, the template that it is installing is retail banking. And this is also NBAD template. You see, NBAD template, car model. So this is a car model name. This is the NBAD template name. So it will install the tables, columns, properties, etc. with this car model. It will install some sample categories, business issues, business groups, some configuration, and some offers with the NBAD template. Okay, so that is what this particular setup wizard is going to install automatically. Since you have selected the industry as banking, that is the reason it is installing the appropriate car model and appropriate template. So now I click on the start button. So just you need to wait and see, that's it. So it is telling that it will take up to 30 minutes. That is the maximum time. Okay.
As a part of this, any business issue or group it will create, or that we have to create manually?
That's what, right? The NBAD template will create it automatically. But you can create for your requirement. If you have, you can create it. But some sample business issues, some sample business groups will be created by the NBAD template. Okay.
So what is the purpose of that file repo, Ravi? Which
So
you have
the
shown?
file repo contains the interaction history files and also any customer interactions and the data ingestion files. So right now in the latest versions, we are not doing everything in tables, considering the performance impacts. Because if you are loading 10 million customers into the table, it will be huge performance issue. So Pega is recommending to create file-based data. That means your interaction history will be stored into a file in the repository. So this repository is created by Pega specifically for this Pega decisioning. In that repository, in that folder, the file will be created. Okay. So whatever the offers that we are sending, for which offer customers are responding, which offers customers are not responding, everything will be file based. Previously it used to be table based, but we are getting millions and millions of records, which is slowing down the entire application. So they have shifted into a file based, which is completely some external repository, which is not affecting your application performance. So that is the advantage in the latest versions.
Is it S3 repo or?
Yeah, S3 repo.
Okay.
So you can see configure file repo repository. That is the name of the repository. That is file repo. Separately, some separate folder they will create where you can store all the interaction data. Okay.
So it is external DB. How it will be, Ravi?
External repository, like an external directory, which is created. And in that directory, some folders will be created. In that folder, your file will be created.
If in real time specific means organization wants to connect any other external DB,
They can do that. They can do that. I'm telling you that by default folder.
okay.
So this is created as a by default folder. If you want to move from here to some other place, you can move it. You need to write some custom code and you need to move it. Okay. But by default, any offers we are sending to the customers, any responses we are getting, everything will be stored into a file rather than table. Okay, so that's what is happening. And you can see everything is automatically getting installed and created. You can see the car model is getting applied. Okay. Context dictionary is getting saved. So all these things, this particular wizard is taking care of. And the good thing is you don't need to rerun the wizard in every environment. So this wizard, once it has successfully completed, it will give you one product file. Just you need to import that product file in your target environment. So you will take this product file, which is created by the wizard, and you just import the entire product file. That's it. That's what you have to do.
No, कहाँ पर? बोलो.
Sorry?
As a decision consultant, we'll be creating this widget, correct? I mean, the application.
Yeah, correct. As a decisioning consultant, you will be doing it, but mostly it will be done by the lead only again. Okay. So they
Ravi,
will only
I did not get the last point. Why we need to have as a product file, and I mean this is a one-time activity, right?
for one-time activity only. So let us say how you will again move the entire application to the QA. So you created one application in the dev. You need to move it to QA.
Okay. Okay, got
So again, you need to run the application wizard, package, all the access groups, all those things. You don't need to do that actually.
Got it.
Okay. So overall product will be given to us. Okay. So CDH setup has lot of advantages because every single sample information is given to us so that you can just simply customize it rather than creating everything from scratch. Okay.
Yeah,
So
by default, the primary context will be the customers or the accounts.
yes, correct. By default will be customer class will be created. Okay. So the context will be created, the tables, properties, all this will be created by the wizard itself. Okay.
So before
And
we
which
start
cloud
this,
Pega is using, Ravi? Like
Sorry?
Azure or AWS or?
No, S3 only from first onwards. Before it is a table based. Now it is
No. What my question is, Pega is a cloud based, right? I mean, is it AWS or Azure or any?
AWS.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So prior to 8.7, sorry, not at 8.7, before 23, all the data for interaction history, it used to go into tables, not into the files. But now it is a table, a file based. Previously, it used to be table based. So again, you need to know this difference, okay? Okay, so before we complete it, let us.
So this file data is encrypted or it is a plain text?
No, it will not be encrypted. So it will be direct regular file only. Okay.
So Ravi, do we need to install this in a cloud environment or in the personal?
Personal edition we cannot import. We cannot do that. What you are
So
doing.
cloud in the cloud, actually, we'll have we'll open in a daily basis, right? So every time, do we need to import this file in the cloud environment?
Yes. So either you can also use the existing application. No, this application also you can use.
Okay.
Okay. So that is the disadvantage here. Either you need to back up everything that you create, or you need to practice topic by topic. But by the next day you practice, the previous changes will be gone. You need to practice a new topic. Okay, altogether. Or if you want the consistency, you need to take the backup of every day, and you need to import the backup here. Okay. So that's what you need to do.
So can we create a product file for the backup?
Yeah, you can do that. You have to do it manually. For the first time, Pega Wizard will give you the entire application backup. But when you're doing some changes, you need to take the backup from your side only. Okay. Every day to day, you need to take backup and you need to import it again. So I don't have that much time, all those things. If you say, then you can use this existing application, which will not be gone. But the changes that you do, they will be gone. Okay. Okay. So it is taking some time. It will definitely.
So this will today you are doing it, right? And you are using the existing template to create this banking application. So it will be saved in your class cloud setting, right? We don't need to run this every day
No.
while logging into our account.
So this is a change which I am doing, right? That will not be there. What I'm telling you that will be there is the CDH application will be there. But I am creating something called Access Bank Offers. That is my application.
Oh, okay. So
Which is
daily
a
you need
custom
to.
change, right? It will be deleted. It will be removed unless you take a backup.
Okay.
So, can you show us the product file? How does it look like once?
Yeah, let it complete, no?
Okay.
So once it is completed, then only it will be generated.
Hey,
There
Ravi,
was
I
one
have one
option.
question. Yeah, so before we install this, or before we access
Just
the
a minute,
cloud,
just a minute, just a minute.
yeah.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm saying I don't have a Pega PRPC in my system. So, while creating and accessing the class and everything, we need to install that, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so can you just share those documents how I can install? I
In
mean,
the
if you have
cloud,
any
right?
instructions.
In the cloud.
Yeah, cloud and Pega also, right? Because Devi Studio
In
and all.
personal edition, we cannot do. So that's what I was mentioning before. In the cloud only,
Okay.
you have to install it. I will share the screenshots.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Hey, Ravi, one question. So when you created this application from scratch, right? There was one option. I'm not sure if it is related to CDH, but it was blueprint.
So blueprint is different. So blueprint is something where you create the case designer and all those things. Blueprint is for Pega development that will automatically create the entire application, cases, case designs, workflow, processes, everything will be created by the blueprint. So that is for Pega development, not for decisioning.
Oh, okay. Traditional development, right?
Yes.
So there is predefined template.
Sorry?
So it has like predefined templates,
Yes,
like the
correct.
car
Correct,
model and
correct.
okay.
Through AI, it will be generating entire processes, life cycle, everything.
Okay.
Okay, so now you can see that this wizard is creating many adaptive models, properties. It's creating the data flows, proposition filters, strategies. So all these strategies, you can customize it. You can customize the models. So this wizard will create everything for you for a basic level, whatever you need to do. You can just simply save as this, or you can update the same thing in order to achieve your business requirement. So you can see the properties, data flows, so many things are getting created. And this is my product rule, which has been created. So now I think it should be there, but let it be completed. So you have the NBAD template now. The NBAD template is now it's going to get applied to our application. So that's what it is going to do now. So still it is only 50% completed.
Meanwhile, can you show us the repo for CDH application, Ravi, like how to access?
You will not access the repo, right? You
Oh.
don't have access to the folders. This is a cloud. This is not personal edition, or we don't have access to that. You need to access through the data pages. Okay. So we have some file data pages, which you call it like get file, new file. So like that, we have some files are there. For example, if you see px new file. So this data page will create a new file in the repository. So using this repository databases, you call it as repository databases. So like that, you have new file, list of files, delete file. So like that, all these databases will be there. So you need to access the repository with these databases, and you can insert or you can delete all those things you can do.
Okay, visually we don't have, but we can
Yes.
connect and see that. Okay.
Correct. You have to connect with the databases and you can see. So like that, you have so many repository databases. You can just try this link. If you want, I can share it in the chat. So it's generally you call it repository database. So I think this is repository.
Using these data pages, all the data will be storing into the Pega database only, right, Ravi?
No, why it will be stored into Pega database? The repository itself is not a database. It's a separate folder, right?
Okay.
So these are the ones. So very important actually, because right now in CDH, we are managing everything repository based, not a table based. Considering the performance. So every time you want to delete something, you want to insert something into repository, you need to make use of this only. So you see, I have create a px new folder. That means in this repository, I want to create a separate folder for your application or something else. You can do this with this data page. So if you open this data page, it will give you full information how to use it. Okay. So you can see load the data page, save the content, save the data page. Parameters will be there. You need to pass the parameters. What is the repository name? That is file repo. Okay. You will do file repo and the file path. So if you want to create a new folder, if you want to get the new file, if you want to get, so this is like a obj open by handle. This is like obj browse, right? You'll get only one file, and here you'll get all the list of files. So you can say px delete is there. So using this, you can actually do the repository management. So there is one file also that is attached. In this file, I think they might be mentioning how to use it properly. So I recommend all of you to try this, because definitely you are going to do this some or other time. Okay, you see. So this repository here, they have configured one separate external S3 repository. But in our case, it is internally created one repository it has created. We might not have access, or we need to check how to get the access. But when you are testing, you can actually create a separate repository like this, and you can do all the operations like you can see. So they are creating some new folder here, creating a new file, get the list of files. So you see all those things they are doing here. Very useful feature, because right now in decisioning, we will be doing like this only. Repository based we are going to do.
For
So
this, we need access key, right, Ravi? Like for repository access, right?
if you create the bucket, you will get the access key, everything. They are creating separate S3 bucket here, which is separate S3 folder. So if you are creating with your login ID, then you will get it. You will get the access key, everything you will get it, which you can keep it in the Pega. Then you say test connectivity, it should get success. Okay.
Yes,
So
we
just
can
go
do using personal edition only, right?
anything, either personal edition or you can do it in cloud also. This
In
is
that place, like one directory is created, right? Means like when we are installing application, one directory will be created in the AWS.
one directory will be created,
That
correct? But that you cannot test it. You might not have access to it in order to do all these operations. So that's the reason I am telling you to create a separate directory, separate repository in S3 bucket. You see on the top here, aws.amazon.com. You go to that URL, you can create a separate directory, separate folders like this. So that you can test it is what I'm telling you. Okay. So create a separate folders all like this. So I think that is mentioned how to set up the repository. In this link, they have mentioned how to set up the repository and all those things, creating the buckets and all those things. So once you create that, try to use the Pega options to insert some file, retrieve some files. Like that, you can use the APIs which are there. So useful feature, which you will be using it in your applications. That's why I'm telling you. I sent the link in the chat. So when you get the time, try to use these methods. It's not specific
what
to
with the
Pega
tables?
decisioning only. You can do it for Pega development also. There is nothing. This is not specific to Pega decisioning. If you want to consider
Yeah, Ravi.
performance, with huge database table, you can make use of this. Okay.
Like what are those tables which are replaced by these file repositories? Like what table data is
Interaction history.
replaced?
Interaction history. Okay. In
Yeah.
Pega decisioning point of view, interaction history is something that is replaced from table to file. So whatever offer
Okay.
that
And
you are sending, whatever customers that are interacting, everything will be stored in a folders in the repository.
So Ravi, here in normal Pega, generally whenever we are creating the classes and everything, once we are done the test connectivity, it is mapping to that by default some Pega define the tables. So rather than that, here it is pointing to the repositories, right?
Yes, correct. Correct.
So by
customer
default
related
also here
information.
they do have the some kind of by default repositories, and the list whatever you have shared is that is a by default repositories.
Yes, correct.
Suppose if we want to do some customization repositories, then we have to create the separate folders and all. Then we have to do like what kind of operations are we going to do here? Because generally in Pega, whenever we are creating the tables, we are creating the custom tables.
Everywhere the operations will be CRUD operations. CRUD means what? CRUD means create, read, update, delete.
Yeah.
Either it is a table or it is a file, whatever it is, it's same operation, CRUD operation. Okay, which is
Okay.
create, read, update, delete. So here folders also you will do the same thing. You will create a file, you will read the files, you will update a file, you will delete a file using these methods. You see, that's why we have this databases: new file, get file, list of files, delete. all these things. So just you need to learn how to use these data pages to perform your operations.
Yeah, got it.
Because if it is table, directly you will go to the table or you will delete it, or you will say obj save, obj delete, like that you will say. But here it is not that case. You need to do that repository operations with API. You call it as repository API. Okay, and this is not specific to decisioning. You can also do it in Pega development projects also, if you want performance. So using this API is already connected to this data page. So we are just simply triggering that API. Okay. So we are just triggering this data page. How to trigger also they have mentioned here. Load the data page with the repository name and the path where you need to create a new file. Then save the content into this page and save the data page. If you're still not sure, right, you can also go through these references. Maybe somewhere they might be using it. So you can use the same method. How they are doing it, same way you can do for yours also. If you say I'm going to the references, they have mentioned in this document also how to do, but you can check in these references also. You see, they're saying they're passing the repository name, okay, and the path. Then they are copying everything, okay. So like this, you can just give it as a step page and you need to do it. So that's what you have.
Yeah, because here we cannot do the OBJ operations here, right?
Yes, you cannot do OBJ operations here, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what you have to do. Okay, so just follow this, how they are doing it. And then they are doing save data page. Using that method, they are committing the data right now, save data page. So then new file will be getting created.
So
So same way
Ravi,
you have to do it.
what's the
So
type
Ravi,
of file?
does that mean that it doesn't uses the Pega data which is used to
Yes. Yes, correct.
map the classes with the
There is no
tables?
database concept, right? That's what I'm telling. There is no database concept here.
So this is purely cloud based, right? And if we
Cloud.
want to move our normal Pega application into cloud based, then we need to do all these changes.
If you have to do for interaction history, you need to do all these changes. So I'm telling you from
Yeah,
decisioning point of view, for interaction history, if you want to do some manipulation, like you want to get all the list of interaction history files, you need to use these methods. No option is there.
this is for but going so doesn't considering the CDH. If I have a normal Pega application,
Normal Pega application also, if you are going with file based, repository based, you need to do these operations. Okay.
means moving into cloud, then all the
Yes.
Pega data tables
Yes.
needs to move into repository.
Yes.
Right?
Correct. So you need to insert the data using this method. Maybe you can loop through the page list, the data page list, which is pointing to the table. And then you will pass this value and give the parameter and create a file. So you need to
Okay, so
do some POC.
we have this database table mapping rule, right, which maps the classes to the tables. So when we move this into cloud, how do we map the
You don't
classes to
need to
the
map, right?
repository?
For a database table creation, you are doing the mapping. But from table to file, why you need to map? You have all the data
Yeah,
in the
so,
table. You will loop through the data page results and you will call this data page. Okay.
right, but there could be multiple classes that we might need to move to cloud.
Multiple classes means you will say multiple data pages, right? Every single class will be having one table. That table you will have one associated data page. So if you have multiple classes, you will have multiple data pages. So you loop through
Okay,
all the multiple data pages and you will call this data page. Okay.
okay.
So just try to investigate. So you will get the idea what to do. Okay. Just you will call this. You have to loop it and you have to call this thing, and then you have to set the data into the data page. So that's what you have to do. Yeah, just try to explore. You will get more information how to do that.
Hi,
Areas.
I
Yeah.
have one question. Yeah, all the interaction history, these will be under these database like API databases, and other than that, the customer details will be in the Cassandra, right?
Customer database details will be in our Oracle database only. Cassandra is a separate database. Cassandra is one additional database that is given where also you can store. But by default, it will be in our Oracle database only. Apart from that, you can also store in Cassandra. That's like a backup, you can say. Okay, it's like a backup, or it's like a supporting database for Pega Decisioning. Rather than directly interacting with customer database every time, since the Oracle database is very sensitive, and if you have too much data, it will take a lot of time. We are just going through one additional database, which is Cassandra database. But still, the data will be on both the databases, not on
Okay.
Cassandra alone.
Okay,
if it
we'll
is a
maintain on both.
So Ravi, here if it is a Cassandra database, then the data will be storing into the table format. It's not going to be into the repository format, right?
No, correct. Not in repository.
Yeah.
Cassandra database is also a database, but the format and structure will be different, and the way of retrieving will be different. Okay. So in order to retrieve from Cassandra database, you have to create a separate things that is called Cassandra DDS dataset from Pega. Okay. So decision data store, right? That's what I told you, right? Decision data store is something which is connected with Cassandra database. So you need to create a DDS dataset in order to retrieve the data. See, for repository, we have this API, new folder, new file, get file, delete the file. These things are there. For Cassandra database, you need to create a DDS dataset.
I
DDS,
think data sets also having a different kind of like the file repository is also there.
yes,
Some
that is
different
also
kind
there.
of set of data is there.
Yes, it's there. So in Cassandra database, you need to create a decision data store dataset. Okay, you need to create a decision data store dataset.
Yeah, there are, I think, 5 types are there. Yeah.
Yes. So using that dataset only, you are going to delete, insert, all those things you will do.
Yeah, but my understanding is, but this one is like the data set is like not going like the, suppose the enterprises organizations are having the huge kind of data, right? So data set will be support for the like the applications like the junk pieces by pieces, not like the huge, right?
No, nothing like that. It will support huge also, but you need to create a Cassandra database dataset.
Okay.
Okay.
Hey Ravi, I missed it. Like, what is stored in this Cassandra database? What data?
The customer data and the customers associated data. Okay. So that is what is stored in Cassandra database. And again, it's not like it's a recommendation, but not mandatory to have Cassandra database. Okay. If you have, it will be like an additional database, which will have your backup, all the customer data, interactions of the customers associated information, what products they purchased, everything will be like a backup data, additional database will be there. But without Cassandra also, you can manage it. It's not like a mandatory that you need to have Cassandra. It is just like
In total, we have two databases. One is for the
Oracle
normal
database,
data.
one is for Cassandra database. Yes.
Cassandra database. Okay. Now
So
this
this Cassandra
data
database is
customer.
optional. I mean, it's recommended, but not mandatory.
So this table is mapped to the Cassandra database table or normal
This
Pega
will be
database
mapped
table?
to Cassandra database. So when you create a decision data store dataset, it will automatically create a new Cassandra table. So this is the new Cassandra table, which is created in a Cassandra database. But you cannot directly manage the data in Cassandra database like how you do with OBJ save and all that. It will not work. So in order to delete, in order to insert a record, you need to make use of this dataset only. So using this dataset in the activity, you will call dataset-execute method, which will provide you the options to insert, delete, update the records. So for example, if you go to the technical activity, so what I have done now, I have created one decision data store dataset. which
Yeah,
will
Ravi,
create a table. Okay.
yeah, if we delete it from Cassandra database, will it again delete it from the Oracle database as well?
No,
Vice
both
versa?
are different. It will not do that. That's what I'm telling you. It's a backup database or it's like a supporting database. In case if your main database is having some performance issues and all those things, right? Your Cassandra database will trigger. Okay. So it's like a backup or additional database.
So whenever we insert a record into this customer table, there will be another record, same record will be inserted into the Cassandra database as well, the replica.
That will come through ingestion. That will come through ingestion. You need to define in the ingestion saying whenever record will come to the Cassandra, insert record into Cassandra customer table also. So you need to do that manually. Pega will not do that.
Okay.
Ravi, where will this issue and that categories and proposition will get saved?
They will be saved in the SR class. So there will be backend table will be there, separate table in Oracle database only. So in that table only it will be internal Pega database only it will be stored. Issues, groups, propositions,
Yeah.
all those things.
Can we store this information into Cassandra as well?
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that. It's up to you, right? So you have to do the same way. So you see, I'm saying
So
dataset dash execute. Here you need to select the decision data store dataset. Then you will get the operations. You see, browse by keys, save, truncate. So I am creating one decision data store dataset for creating a Cassandra table. Now automatically this table is created. In this table, whatever data that I want to store, you can store it. Okay, using the save operation. So I'll say save, and you have to mention what data you have to save. Where is the source? So this is my source. Save the list of pages from this particular page list. You have to give the page list value here. From this, you store it into this Cassandra database is what I'm telling. That's what I'm telling here. Okay.
So can we consider it as a temporary table, Ravi, instead of
temporary table? Is not like temporary table. It's like a supporting table, you can say. Okay. In case if your main table is having issues, you want to use this only, you can do like a different lot of things rather than keeping pressure on the main table.
You mean we can say backup table?
Yeah, backup table, you can call it backup table and supporting table. Okay. So the
why this
advantage is the
customer
performance.
data? Why this customer data is in Cassandra, but the other like proposition issue group is in
Proposition and issues,
Pega.
no one will have millions of propositions. Okay. But the customer data can be huge. Customers' products can be huge. One customer can have 10 products. So if you take 10 million customers, then you can have 100 million products will be there. So where you are going to store all these 100 million in tables, if you are storing, then entire application will go down if you try to retrieve the data. So that propositions will not be 1 million, right? So you, even if you take any big company also, maybe they might have some 100 products or 200, 300 products. That's it. So that is the propositions, right? Propositions are the offers that you are sending to the customers, which will definitely be not be 1 million, maybe 1,000, maybe, or maybe 10,000, 5,000, but not more than that, right? But still, in case if they are also more than 1 lakh, 10 lakh, like Amazon products, then you have to consider a separate database for that. Okay. But right now, in general scenario, the offers and products will not be heavy.
So if we have less number of customer, let's say, then proposition is using the Pega internal database, right?
Yes.
So is it mandatory to store the customer data in Cassandra, or we can
Not mandatory. That's
also
what I'm telling, right? Not mandatory. Only recommendation. Only recommendation. If you have some good servers, if you have some good database management to store huge million data also, you don't need to take Cassandra. It is only a recommendation so that in case if anything happens with your database, Cassandra will fire up. But it's not mandatory. It is up to you. Okay. So many projects I have seen without Cassandra also. It is only a recommendation. If you want to go for that, go for that. Otherwise, no need to do. Okay. Okay.
And, and is there any database table mapping rule with this SR classes as well with respect to internal database of Pega?
Yeah, it will be there in the backend. Maybe you can just check the table name for the SR class. So you can find out. Okay, so our application is created, which is Axis Bank offers. So now we are going
In
to,
one last question.
yeah,
So there is no work objects getting created in this CDH application, right?
yeah, correct. So your work objects, work classes, everything has to be a separate application. CDH has to be in separate application. Okay.
Right.
So generally that's how we do it. Yeah, no work classes, nothing will be there. Okay, so now our application is set up. So you can see it is Axis Bank offers. That is our application name. So I'll try to take the backup and possibly we will see in the new application every day. Okay, so that's what I'll try. But again, it's the same thing. Even if you practice in your CDH application also, it's the same thing. Here also, it's the same thing. Only difference will be you will lose the changes that you have done. Okay. Either you need to start with new topic the next day or you need to take the backup every day. Okay. So this is my new application, which is Axis Bank offers. So this is application which we are going to see how to configure from scratch, all those things. But like I again told you, Pega will give you some sample configuration, everything will be given to you. Just you need to start with customizing them or creating new as per the requirement. That's what you need to do. So before we go to our new application implementation, let us understand something about the rule sets also. So we have missed the topic yesterday, but let us cover it now. So now we have created a new application which is called Axis Bank Offers, which is a banking domain. It has automatically installed the data model, NBAD template, everything, context dictionary is installed. All the ODB strategies, data flows, everything is installed by the wizard itself. You can directly step into the implementation once the application is created. So that is how the advantage of this latest version. Okay, you can directly start with your implementation, sprint activities. No need to do anything. So let us review what this application has created for us. So you can see it has created this data model. It has imported the data model. It has taken the latest version. And if you go to the context dictionary, let us review what is the context dictionary. So I'm going to the settings, context dictionary. So you can see the customer table is created, account is created, and okay, you can see now here the class. This is the class, right? This is a class. A class is created for us. Axis Bank offers dash data dash customer. This is our customer class. So I mean, this is our application specific customer class. All the properties will be created for us, right? All the properties will be created for us. The columns will be created. Some sample offers will be created. So everything we are good to start. Just you need to customize it as per the requirement. That's it. So this is my customer class.
So
Axis Bank
Ravi,
dash.
yeah,
So
what?
Ravi, here one question. In the class structure generally, in normal Pega, we do have the data classes and the work classes. I know here we don't have the work objects. Uh, like in Pega, like the activities and everything we are generally creating under the work level, right? And the data classes we are using for the creation of the properties.
Hmm.
So here, are we going to create everything under the data class here?
No, nothing like that. SR class and data class, not work class. So we are not going work class. You will create an
Okay.
SR class, right? Yesterday we have seen that. So the
Yes.
properties related to propositions will be in SR class.
Okay.
Properties related to customers and other things, they will be customer classes. That's it. Okay, so now this is my fresh table with all the required properties for bankings. Okay, so this is my fresh table that I have. Okay, now you can get started with your implementation, all the sprint activities, the deliverables, everything. You can start on this.
Ravi, one doubt. Here in this page, the component, the first one is the car model, and we have also NBAD template, right? That will not be displayed here.
NVA template will not be displayed.
Okay.
Okay, it's directly installed. It will not come here. Okay, so before we go further with the strategies, so we need to know what are these rule sets and what is the purpose of that. Okay. So the first rule set that we have here, this is called as OLSTDR CDH or the OLSTDR Access Bank, which is our application ID, right? So just what is that? What is that first rule set? So this rule set is used for operations manager. So we have an operations manager for Pega Decisioning applications, which is also covered in our sessions in the upcoming session. So where the business users will automatically create one change request in the operations manager that will come to the Pega Decisioning team as a work list item. So they will say, okay, create a new offer for us. This is the offer name and this is the category. So then we have to create it. Or they will say, update this particular offer. Right now, the price is $200. Change the price to $100. That is the update they will ask. Okay, that is the update they will ask. Okay. So, yeah, so that's what you have to do.
So we will get those requirements as part of user stories, or what would be the method of receiving those requirements? Through email or, you know?
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm saying that you said that we will get the list of offers or list of requirement from the operations, right? Operation manager.
Yes,
So
yes.
what method they use to tell us that, hey, I want to change the offer, or I want some new promotional offer, so do we get those requirement as part of user stories?
Yeah, you will get as part of user story, correct. Okay.
Okay.
So that's a separate tool. So we'll see how it works. So coming to the next rule set, which is called artifacts rule set. So the purpose of this artifacts rule set is, so it's like a production rule set, and whatever the configuration that you are creating in the CDH portal, so there will be some rules that will be created, right? See, it's a configuration in the sense, in the backend, some rules will also be there. But in the front end, you are just saying, edit this, update this configuration, all those things we are doing. But in the backend, some rules will get auto-created. So those auto-generated rules will go into this artifacts rule set. So again, we'll come to know more details about what is the purpose of this, but major purpose is to store auto-generated rule set, which will automatically store whatever the changes that you are doing in the CDH portal. Then we have the next rule set, which is called NBAD tests. NBAD stands for Next Best Action Designer. Okay, Next Best Action and Designer tests. For example, you want to test your strategy, you want to test your models. For all the testing purposes, you can use NBAD tests to store the test cases. Any kind of testing that you do, if you want to store some rules, you can keep it in the NBAD tests. And the rules set is same like your development. Like if you're creating some properties or any Pega related rules, you will keep it in the rules rule set. So then we have the CDH common. The CDH common will be used when you are using multiple CDH applications. So then only you will store some common rules in this particular rule set. Okay. If you are having some two applications, Axis Bank offers, Axis Bank loans, you have some common rules to be used in both the applications. then you will keep it in CDH common, which will be like a common rule set between two CDH applications. And this, of course, your organization rule set, integration rule sets for any integrations, organization rule set and organization integration rule set, application rule set and application integration, organization and organization integration. So these are the purposes of these rule sets. And while we are practicing it, so we'll see more details on what is the purpose of these rule sets. Okay. So that is about it. Any questions before we go?
What could be the use of integration in this CDH application?
Integration in CDH also, you will do integrations. You will have to create some services, connectors and all that. Right. So all the integrations that you create like connect rest and service rests, all those things you can keep it in your application integration rule set or organization integration rule set, depending on that particular integration that you are doing. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm asking about any example use case.
See, example use case, let us say you have to display your offers on website. Website is a different system, Pega is a different system. So you have to communicate with integration. So you have to show the Pega marketing offers on website using integration. So that is one example for which we have some service we need to build. One service is already there, which you can leverage that.
Yeah. So Ravi, another question. We are using here the Pega Infinity 24.2. So are we Pega decisioning using any kind of Gen APIs?
Not sure on the Gen APIs. I need to see that. Gen AI you are talking about. Yeah, we are using Gen
Yeah,
AI.
Gen AI. Sorry.
So Gen AI is going to be used. So we'll cover that also, how to do that.
Okay.
Ravi, you said you will be showing take the backup of the product right now, since we are working on cloud.
Okay, so I'll just show you quickly. So we have this product rule that will be created. So like I have showed you, one product got created, right? So the same thing will be here also. If you come here and see the list of products. Okay, so this is a product, Access Bank offers context generated. So this is a product which is created for us using the wizard. You can just simply download this product and import the product from configure application import. So wherever you want, first you create the wizard, create the application, and you just start importing. That's it. That's what you have to do.
So the increment also will be stored here, right? Suppose if I do today some changes
Yes,
and
yes,
tomorrow,
correct.
okay.
Okay, I'll show you probably tomorrow, but this is the initial product that you need to import it, okay? Which you can take and import it. Okay, so let us continue tomorrow and we will discuss more on this. Thank you all.